Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. And today I get to hang out with my buddy, Guin Kendrick, who is the National Accounts Manager at Singer Equipment. Guin, welcome to the show.
Hey Johnny, thanks for having me, man. So good to see you. Love what you're doing with the Kingdom community and drawing out the superpowers amongst these incredibly fantastic people that are out there, like doing their best for the Kingdom
Yeah, man.
with the gifts
Yeah,
that they've been given. And
yeah.
so, big fan, and so happy to be here with you.
Yeah, man, it's been exciting, bro, to get to know you, and even just off camera today, learning a little bit more about your cowboy ways. So you're gonna tell us a little bit about that. Can you tell us about adventure? Actually, let's start there. I want to hear about adventure is important to you. So how do you find adventure in your life?
Yeah, like you said, in a different part of my life, I've been a whitewater raft guide. I've worked on a couple ranches out west. Done a lot of fun, things. Jumped out of a perfectly good airplane,
Yeah,
but that looks a little bit differently from the seat of a national accounts manager for a food service equipment dealer. Um,
yeah.
uh, uh, and it looks a lot of different at home too. I'm raising three kids. The oldest is our beautiful daughter, and the two boys that are wild as they come, and and a and a husband to a fantastic person in my wife.
Yeah, bro.
And so that's what adventure looks like these days.
Yeah.
Caring for them, learning how to lead and point them in the right direction, uh, being the balance and the way that they see the world, how to bounce those things off, and then also, it's in serving my customers. They can be wild themselves and not know what they want or when they want it, and it's asking the questions and jumping in there with them, not afraid to get dirty and work hard with them to come up with a solution that it's going to help their dreams come true, and what they're trying to accomplish.
That's so good, man. How old are your kids?
Yeah, Stella's 11. Hope is my middle guy at 8, and then Woods is 6.5.
6.5. All right, man. And your sons. So are they? Are you said they're wild? Or did they get that from you?
It's probably not far from the tree that they got that. You know, we I encourage them in that. Like, to just to be wild and have fun and run and play and do the things. That's where they're at. These
Yep.
days. But
Yep.
whatever they do, like, hey, give it all you got.
Yeah.
If we're gonna be loud, let's be loud. Let's go outside, but let's be loud.
Yeah. Oh, I love it, dude. I was listening to an interview with Matthew McConaughey the other day. You familiar? I mean, have you followed
Yeah,
him at all?
yeah,
And very still, like he talked about his upbringing and just like basically, if you're gonna do it, then do it with everything that you've got. And so he's kind of an intense dude. But that got instilled in him by his parents in childhood. Very similar, and that's I think he would probably attribute a lot of his success to that.
yeah. First job right out of the gate was, laying tile. When I was 15 and 16 in the summers when I was not in school and like just doing that hard work. But a lot of that was instilled by my granddad and my uncle and my parents and
Yeah,
the way they walked about in life. My uncle, uh, he he uh, he quit his day job at the manufacturing plant and started his own tack shop and built a rodeo arena. And so we were around, rodeos all weekend. He was a top healer in the roping world for a hot minute, and so we were around horses and cowboys and all that kind of stuff growing up. Had Sunday afternoon rides, and so that's all fun, but
yeah,
it required a lot of work. You got to run
yeah,
the cows up the chute. You got to reset the barrels. You got to take up the money. You got to cook the hamburgers. You got to do all the things.
yeah,
And but we did them like same kind of energy went into, bush hogging or whatever we had to do around the house. And so
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
that's where a lot of it came from.
Yeah, man. Yeah. And you said, I mean, so you kind of told me that you're a cowboy at heart. That's a big part of like your identity and who you are. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, yeah. And whole different story, but that's how I kind of met our buddy Jeff
Yeah.
Shufflebind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, is that there was a book on cowboy ethics, and I've got it on my coffee table. I keep it here, but yeah, doing the right thing. Basic kind of stuff of shaking a guy's hand and looking him in the eyes and standing behind what you sell, what you're providing, telling the truth,
Yeah.
making decisions on long term
Yeah.
relationships. Like that's what cowboys do.
Yeah, man. Yep. So that all that integrity. Um, Now, what about the physical aspects, right? Like the physical aspect of, like you said, jumping off of a horse onto a cow. Like you said something about that prior before we got on camera. Like you did that
Yeah,
too.
yeah, 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 yeah. Growing up and around the rodeos, we were given our shot to do different stuff, and so steer wrestling, I've done that a couple times, and didn't make that a career, but that bled over into everything else that I do. Even when I was a raft guide, you get on a river and the water's 50 degrees, and you've got you don't know who's going to be in your boat that day, but they've got to kind of you've got to be the leader, and they've got to kind of follow your commands. And so as soon
Yeah.
as I got my feet in the water before I put them in the boat, it's cowboy up, let's go,
Yeah.
like lock in,
Yeah.
because they're counting on you today. This is not a theme park ride. And so
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
same way, today that's how life kind of works, like as an expert and a professional, and providing the food service equipment, which is always a lot of fun. There's
Yeah.
different elements to the food service business. Everybody loves the idea of putting a plate in front of somebody of something that they cooked, and them taking a bite and going, oh my gosh, that's the best thing that I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
um, there are different parts to be a part of that dream and it coming together. Yeah, you can be the chef. Yeah, you can be the sous. Yeah, you can be the manager. Yeah, you can be the guy who sold the food and directed them there. You could be the guy that provided the design and the equipment. Um, there's places in IT now, where you're, navigating third-party delivery systems and stuff. Everybody's got a piece of the puzzle they can play, but it's with that same kind of attitude, right? Like, I'm the professional here. I've done my work. I know what it's going to require to get the job done,
Yeah.
and not from a proud place, but a humble place of like, hey, look, I want to help your dreams come true. I want to exercise this out, and this is what I've learned based on this piece of equipment and how to lay this out. That you just will always walk in there with confidence and courage um, to help them to do well. And I think the Bible and the kingdom kind of directs us in that manner to do
Absolutely.
our best. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Yep, I can picture it. I can picture that you're a person that you inspire confidence in people, right? Because you're having to put people into a raft and they're trusting you with their lives. I see how that translates, right? Like I'm also potentially trusting you with my business, and I want to work with people that know what they're doing and that give me a sense of peace of knowing, okay, this person's been through hard things and they know how it can go wrong. So that's pretty amazing, and I'd love to see that you're applying that in your work. Can you tell us about a defining moment in your life?
man, yeah, I mean, there's several, right? For me personally, like, uh, you know, kind of defining on like kind of where I grew up and that we were really close to the woods and being outside,
Yeah,
having parents that love me no matter what, and that kind of fleshed
yeah,
itself out in several different ways. But one, making sure that we always went to church. I remember one evening where the keys got locked in the car to the vehicle, but our church was, less than a mile down the road, so we walked to church.
yeah,
Um, uh, those
yeah,
kind of those kind of moments throughout my life, my parents have always, been there for me and support me and cheering me on. Um, but I think the faith factor, like plays the biggest role, because at some point you kind of understand that, that, hey, look, this is the sacrifice that's been made for you, not because of anything that you've done, but that, God sent Jesus to die on the cross for you. And I made that decision in my heart, but
Yeah.
it took a while. I may be a little slow learner on that front. It took a while to get that into my head,
Yeah.
because the tough part about having that kind of hardworking mindset is that you want to be a bootstrap puller. Like,
Yep.
I think a lot of people like are on one end of the spectrum or the other when it comes to law and grace, and following the rules and doing the right thing and understanding how deep that grace goes. And so there was definitely a pivotal point in my late 20s, where, hey, look, I've tried everything that I can to right myself and do the right thing, and I've failed too many times. And that was the moment. Like, I give up. I cannot do this anymore.
Yeah.
And so, definitely a landmark. I think a lot of people can say this. I'm married to my best friend,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
those pivotal iron sharpening iron moments of having a wife who also loves the Lord and like wants the best for me and what I'm doing, and then the kids are a whole different refining moment, right?
Yes,
They
they are.
they will point out the ideas that are bad, and ask questions that make you question a lot of things yourself too. And
Yeah.
so it's been on one front, I feel like it's rigged in my favor, my life. God has been good to me, and but that's what also puts me in the position where I just feel the need to serve and do my best, for His glory and for the good of others. That's kind of how that works out in my work and what I do every day.
And how does that? So let's talk a little bit about how that trickles down. And I love what you said. First, I want to circle something you said earlier. You just talked about life being, feel like life's been rigged in your favor. Man, I've been meditating on that a little bit myself. That when you have a relationship with the Lord, there is nothing more precious than that, right? Like there is nothing more precious than to have a relationship with the Creator. If you have that, in some sense, the game's over. The game's over, but it's not over, right? The game's over in a sense because I've already got the high score. I've already achieved whatever the game was created for. Like I already have that relationship. But then also, it's a process of that being worked into you and through you, so that it can be seen in the world and invite other people. So I feel that too, man. Like there is a sense in which if God's for you, who can be against you? Yeah, life is rigged in your favor, right?
Yeah.
Even the bad things that
Well,
happen to you. Yeah.
yeah, and I love how you framed that up too, because we're forgetful. We see how that plays out in the Bible. The Israelites were tremendously forgetful. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I just rescued you from Egypt, and you're already here again. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
who are you putting this up against? And
Yeah.
even the physical representations of that, through history of where, like, hey, David just conquered Goliath. We beat the Philistines. We're moving on. Let's set up a statue here, and we'll call it Ebenezer. That
Yeah.
that God
Yeah.
has been with us to this point. And so,
Yeah.
yes, like I think we kind of take that framework of like, hey, the game has been won. Like it's
Yeah.
over. It's
Yeah.
done. But we have to continue to do the work, and we have to remember.
Yeah.
I think God calls us to that. That I think that's why we have to kind of always go back.
Yeah. Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
number
dude.
one, because it's a relationship with Him, right?
That's
I
right.
mean, the one thing that sticks out with my kids is that they get upset, they get worried, they get angry. Like it doesn't do any good to sit over there in the corner and pout.
Yeah.
Okay, come talk to Daddy, and we'll work out a solution.
Yeah.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
can't help you if you don't come to me.
Right.
Okay, but if you want to waller in it over there,
Yeah.
I mean, that's your choice, but I got something better for you.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Isn't that so? I'll tell you, right, like that right there, what you just described was probably one of the most transformative moments in my relationship with the Lord. Was realizing that He's a father who wants me to come to Him. Simple. He's a father that just wants me to come to Him. There's no scenario in which He does not want me to come to Him. He always wants me to go, like, right? Because when I was able to flip that in my mind, because when I think about my kids, I'm certainly not God, but I'm a good dad. And I want my kids to come to me, right? I don't want them to think that they've got to get their stuff straight or get their stuff together, get themselves together and then come to me. I want them to come to me, whatever's going on. And when I realized, like, okay, God's a better dad than me, right? And so if that's right, like God's a better dad. And also has made provision in the word, man. I love this scripture. This is one of my favorite scriptures right now. Come boldly to the throne of grace, right? Let us come boldly to the throne of grace and find mercy and grace to help in time of need. I love that scripture, man. Come bold, like outspoken, like, yeah, I can come here. I can come here. I can come to the throne of grace. And what am I going to find there? Judgment? Am I going to find, disdain, anger, hatred? Mercy and grace, which is power. Right?
Yep.
Come on now.
And so that always puts us in two positions, right? I think it's James 5:13, right? Like, if you're sad, you're worried, you're afraid, then you should pray.
Yeah.
Come talk to Him.
Come talk to Him.
If you are happy and the joy is there and you are experiencing that power of grace, then we should praise. Like, those are your two options of the positions that you should be in.
Yeah,
Either
bro.
talk to me or talk about me. Like,
dude, I love it so much, man. I love, and even what you said. I've been meditating a little bit on this, the idea that we as humans have desire, and desire is not bad. Desire can be tainted, but desire in itself is not a bad thing. But we have desire, and then there's this other thing called gratitude. Right. And so often our desire takes front and center over and gratitude is below it. And that's when you live a life of there's angst, right? Because it's always because desire is about what's ahead. It's about what's next. Grace is about what's behind, right? And what you have now. It's about the present. That's what gratitude is about. So,
and that's why gratitude is that parent to all the other virtues.
Yeah.
Like, that's why if you are leading in that humble place of gratitude and thankfulness, that will take those wants and desires and reframe them.
Yes.
And
yes.
And like that keeps you a little bit closer to where your feet are right this second.
Yes. Dude, I love it so much, and we are talking about. I think a lot of it's I'll tell you what I love. I love when I get to talk with a brother in the faith, and I don't know what church you came up in, right? Like I don't know what denomination you are. I don't know, but when we talk, I know you and I are having common experience because the Spirit is one, right?
Yes,
like
100%.
The Spirit knows, and so I talk to people. I'm like, yeah, I don't know a lot about what you write on the label, but what's in the box, I understand because this is what's in my box, right? Which is the Lord Himself, the Lord's Spirit. So I appreciate you just sharing all that, man. That's some good wisdom for living. I think gratitude as the parent of the virtues. I don't know that I've heard that before.
It's been out there before, I'm sure.
Yep. But that other thing, man, if I were to get on a stage and just be like, and somebody asked me, Johnny, what's the most important thing that you want anybody to know? It would be exactly what you said. Go to your dad. Go to your dad. Don't let there be friction between you and your dad. Find a way to go to your dad all the time. When I say go to your dad, go to the Father, go to the Heavenly Father, go to God. Like, don't see God as somebody who's far away from you, that you have to do all these rituals and all this stuff in order to be in His presence. But like, know that God is as close to you as the father you should have had, right? Some of us did have that father. Some of us didn't have that father. But He's as close to you as the father you should have had, which right? Like you as a father to your kid, that's the illustration. That's how close we could be to God is like, Dad, I'm sad. All right, well, come over here. Come over here, son. Dad, I'm angry at you. Come over here, son. Let's talk about it. Right? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like there's no reason, there is no scenario in which it's the wrong answer to go to dad.
I think it's First Thessalonians. Fact check me on that one. But it is the will of God in Christ Jesus that we are to pray always, be thankful, and rejoice in all situations.
Oh,
Like
come on, dude. That's fire.
it's
Yeah.
it's simple. It's in there in plain English, like right there. What should I do, God? Well, here it is. Pray, rejoice, and be thankful. Like
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Yeah, bro. And for some people, they hear that word pray and they think, okay, well, I have to go to this special room and I have to assume this special position. And I'm not saying those things are bad. Those
Mm,
things are often very good and healthy.
hmm
But if it means I can't pray unless I'm in that room
Yep.
or unless I'm in that posture, then I think we're missing the point because
hmm
prayer is the conversation. Talk to me,
E-
right?
Each one of my kids has a different verse, but my middle guy, his is Joshua 1:9. Haven't I commanded you? Like, there's the reminder again, okay? We've already covered this, but remember when I told you this? Haven't I commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Uh, do not be afraid. Do not lose heart. Why? Because God is with you wherever you go,
Come
okay?
on.
And
Come
so
on.
So his access is with us at any time, at any place. And yes, Jesus tells us, man, and showed it through example of like getting away and putting on the blinders and shutting ourselves down from all the other influences in our life, good, bad, and ugly. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like take that down because he was doing a lot of good things too, through his process and teaching and everything. But, sometimes there you can't just get away. So just right then and there. And so I've made it a practice. Like um, I know there's folks out there in the community and in the world or hashtag thoughts and prayers,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
do all that kind of stuff. And so it's been just a practical place that when needs have come up, um, it's been an opportunity with people who are non-believers. They share something that's on their heart or something that's going on that day, and I'm like, "Hey, look, it can't hurt, right? Like, can you and I just pray about that right now, right here,
Yeah.
and doing it then because also it makes me a person of my word and
Yeah.
plays into like that person I want to be, as
Yeah.
far as a person of integrity and not just saying it but doing it. Because we
Yeah.
all, again, can forget what we told somebody and what we were going to do, and so it's part of just kind of backing that up right then.
Dude, I love it, man. Yep. Yep. And how's that been received?
You know, uh, uh, but when people really mean it and they're really hurting and they really don't have a hope, it's genuinely accepted. And
It
so
is. I've noticed
those
that.
are
Yeah.
opportunities where, like, hey, look, I know everything that I do and say as far as faith goes, like, may seem like, we're talking about aliens or whatever.
Yeah.
But I, I, I can only tell you what I've experienced in my life. And that is that through compassion, that God has been faithful to restore my soul to me every morning, and
Yeah.
I'm sitting in that gratitude, and I know that he has never let me down. And even though you know sometimes things haven't turned out the way that I wanted them to, um, being in his will and in his place, and trusting him has been, I don't want to be anywhere else.
Come on, bro. Yep. I know what you're saying. And that comes back to a theme in these interviews. Like, that I say this all the time. The gift that I have to give to the world is my own transformation. My transformation is the gift. And it's a variation on taste and see that the Lord is good, right? I can't tell you, I can't taste God for you, right? I can't. I can't taste God for anybody else. But if I'm going to tell you to taste God, I better have tasted him, right? And in this metaphor, right, to taste God is to be transformed by God, right? It's to be in participation with who he is, the divine nature, which is what we're called to. And so, yeah, man, like what you're describing to me is living, you're just being Guin, right? You're just being Guin in Christ. And did Christ do these things for you, or did he not? And if he did, that's a part of your story.
If he didn't, then I've got no hope otherwise. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna roll with that.
I'm gonna roll with that, man. It's so good. So you're giving us some. Can you give us some other ways where your faith informs the way that you do the work that you do? Because you're in sales, basically, right? Like you're in, national accounts manager, Singer Equipment. You're in sales, and some people might say, well, that doesn't sound like much of an opportunity for the gospel, or that doesn't, you know what I mean? There are many people. I think that there are some good people speaking on a different way of seeing work, like Jordan Rayner and other people. But yeah, tell us a little bit more about how that transformation that God has done in your life comes through the channel of your work.
Yep. So a number one, even how people define those roles like sales and even in the food service industry, like hospitality, although like hospitality has its own like connotations or whatever, but that industry as a whole is full of people who like, I think for lack of direction sometimes like have found their place in serving other people, and it can be a really tough industry in some lights. And you pair that with the connotations about being in sales and quotas and like doing different things and stuff like that. But I think that I think on one front that kind of goes back in my story a little bit. I actually worked for a company that sold synthetic turf, which is plastic grass, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
getting up every morning to go solicit for somebody to put, yards and yards of plastic grass down. That seems like the worst job ever, right? But early on in my career when I was doing that, I was like, well, this isn't about that. This is about helping schools in particular be better stewards of their facilities. Okay.
Yes.
Coaches who have played a big part in my life, and just speaking into it and saying things that I know that my dad and my mom probably told me a million times, right? But like when the coach said it, you knew that's what was gonna help you win the game, right? And
Yeah.
so I love those connections between sports and real life. My kids play a lot of sports, and so and I've been a coach for some of their teams, and with other parents, and just been able to pass that message along, like, hey, look, if there's something that we're not getting done at home that you need a little help with, like let me know, like that point of influence. And so when I was selling the turf, like help making that impact more sound and giving those coaches more opportunity, because coaches today, they're they because of requirements from their school board and things like that, they have to spend time on certain things there. And then if they had a natural grass field, well, they're also the guys out there cutting the grass, painting the grass, watering the grass, doing all
I
that kind of
see.
stuff. And
I
they've got
see.
teams of coaches who are all handling this stuff together. That's what athletic directors are spending a lot of their time on, and it's only serving one sport. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
where this synthetic turf would, help provide a facility where there's zero to no maintenance, and where they could spend more time with the kids and doing the thing. And not only them and their team, but now the band has a place
Yep.
to practice.
Yep.
Now softball, now track
Yep.
and field. Now all these people can use this one facility, And so that just parlayed over into my career in the food service equipment industry. Um, is that I'm trying to help these owner operators be better stewards of their concept. Like,
Yep.
for instance, if a bartender or even a chef has to make multiple steps in order to get the plate or drink out, you're going to wear down that labor like that. So, how do we keep that labor on that we've spent so much time in building up and bringing them on and help them do their jobs better so that they can make money faster, so that we're more profitable? And so, like, looking through all those things, providing pieces of equipment that help them turn, that food quicker. I love that. I love helping that part of it come true. Now, when you get into national accounts, that's at scale, right? And so
Yeah.
then you apply like I apply all that kind of hardworking, piece and like really get involved, like down to the nitty gritty on like what's important to the concept right on the ground level.
Yeah.
And then we work and build out from there, depending on their needs to provide what other kind of services they need. Are they more design service heavy, or do they need support from e-commerce? Do they need somebody who can just churn out orders left and right, or do they need somebody who can help plan and consult and like walk them through the process and show them the opportunities that are out there on what will help their business be successful? And
Yeah.
so that framed against the experience, that I've had and what has been done for me in Christ is that I'm going to do the best work to provide that best option for the good of others and for the glory of God in whatever I'm doing. And so
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
walks it out. And so from this national account manager perspective, I'm running teams now, right? I've got a couple different salespeople on my team. I've got a large little support staff that also helps, and so we we run that through like kind of a gauntlet of values. Okay, number one, they ask, we answer. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, hospitality is all about that. Okay,
Yeah.
and so imagine going to the table and you see the cup half empty, right? You're not asking them, you're just providing them from a place of abundance, right? Like
Yeah.
filling their cup back up. And the entrees may have not hit the table yet, but we're talking about dessert before that happens, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like we want them to have the whole experience. And so when they ask, we answer. They're not waiting on us. So in a manner of urgency and importance that
Yeah.
they have on it, we're responding to that. And so from there, some of the things I've already covered, like we always tell the truth.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
If it's our fault or not, we own up to it. We stand behind what we sell. We're only going to offer like the best options in what we're providing. And then number three is that every decision that we make is for a a long term relationship. Like for us and for them, like every situation, we're going to make that decision so that, you know, we're married, okay? We're
Yeah.
making different decisions than when we were single, okay?
Right.
So
100%.
we're gonna operate within that framework, and that's
Yeah.
how we're gonna do that. And then our answers are gonna be wrapped up in like those three things. We're always going to be humble about the work that we do and how we go about it. We never come a place of pride and like I've got something better than you or I can do it better. Like, hey, look, it comes from a really just humble place. We're always going to choose to do the right thing, and that can mean the right thing for my business and the right thing for your business, and coming to a balanced place on that. But we're going to talk it out.
Yeah.
And then number three is that we're going to always have mercy in our response to the customers. Like we don't know what happened to them when they walked through the door today. Have mercy on them, but also always be in this position of service.
Yeah.
Had a great opportunity last week, like where we're there serving at a show for one of our customers. Um, and one of my salespeople, they know this. Like we got there, and some of the parts of the puzzle that we put together were already in place, And so I was like, okay, now what? What can we do to help them? And so guy hops back in the prep kitchen and starts breaking down chicken. Like
Yeah.
gets in there, gets dirty. Like what? How can we serve them? And so
Yeah.
that's the framework of how my whole team
Man,
operates.
so good. Now did that framework, does that come from upper management? Did you inform some of that? Like, how does that work?
Some of it, but most of it is just, from experience and asking my team like, hey, look, how do you like to be responded to? Like you've been in customer service situations where you're on the other end of the stick and you're waiting on hold
Yeah.
and you need an answer now.
Yeah.
Like, how does that feel? What would you want in turn? So, like, treat others like you would like to be treated. Like, and we just, I've got people on my team who are, completely uh, bowing down at the cross and worshiping every Sunday and are in
Yeah.
that framework. But I've also got people on my team that don't come from that place in life, but
Yeah.
they understand where that comes from. And I think that's common because eternity's buried in our hearts, man.
Yeah.
It's there. And
Yeah.
so we can all understand that. And so I think that's just another way, at one point or another, Paul said it, we're either planting the seed, we're watering it, but God's making it grow. And so, we may change positions from time to time
Yeah.
on what we're doing, but
Yeah.
if we're always right there with the salt and the light and just continuing to work in that fashion, at some point they're going to go, man, my way is not working.
Yeah.
What they've got is way better. I need
Man.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Salt and light. Um, so let me clarify this. I don't know that I asked this the right way, but you have a structure. I mean, you were counting things off on your fingers, so that makes me think that you have a written out structure somewhere. About your core values and your culture. Is that a document that lives somewhere?
I think it kind of just lives in my head. Some of it's written down, some of it's
Yeah.
not. We don't
Okay.
have it necessarily posted on the walls, but
Yeah.
back to the remembering factor that we talked
Yeah.
about early on, like, and I think I think the coaching, I think some of the experience along the way, and what God has led me through, even like being a parent,
Yeah.
um, like you take those opportunities every day to remind your team about what you're all about,
Yeah.
and so it's the preacher gets up every Sunday and
Yeah.
he preaches on the same context every Sunday.
Yeah.
There is no new Bible,
Yeah.
okay? But
Yeah.
it's always framed up differently. But he continues to preach the gospel with the understanding that, you know, we have no right or way to move forward without Jesus. It
Yeah.
required his sacrifice,
Yeah.
and so he continuously reminds and goes over it. It's the same thing in business practice. Like, hey,
Yeah.
look, these are the things that we're about, and we're going to talk about them all the time. We're just going to go back to them and go back to them and go back to them. Hey, why are we doing this? And for that matter, and that's a place where like the humbleness comes in. You set this framework up, and you may have developed these practices that you do every day, and so that they become routine and part of the expectation that the customers have. But every now and then you'll get the question back and go, hey, why are we doing this again? Like, this
Yeah.
seems like dumb work. And so we talk that out, like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
look, I don't have it all nailed down.
Yeah.
Uh, let's talk it out. It's called, I like, What Got You Here Won't Get You There.
Yeah.
Great,
Yeah. Yeah.
great book. And they talk about it as not feedback, but feed forward. Okay. Where physically you are facing the person and answering the questions. But hey, look, like maybe this process is not a good one. And so, like, tell me what you would like to do differently in order to get this result.
Yeah.
Because if we can find a different, easier, faster way to do that, then let's do that.
Yeah. So there's a book called What Got You Here Won't Get You There. I haven't heard of it.
Yeah, yeah, great one.
I've heard that quote before. I didn't know there was a book with that title, so that's good to
Mhm.
know. A little
Yeah.
special bonus nugget for people that are listening.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. So what I hear though is that man, God has given you a leadership gift. God has given you a leadership gift and a structure um, for how you shepherd a team, and the principles and important things that you Ebenezer, right? Like the Ebenezers that you set for people to come back to and remember who you are and what you're doing. And it works in a mixed environment of people who are believers and people who are not believers, because you're calling everybody higher towards these ideals, right? That's what I
Yep.
hear.
Yep.
Yeah, which is amazing. I mean, it's amazing. And and you're a young man. Like there's how old are you, Guin?
Yeah. I mean, I think I've got a kind of baby face. I
Yeah.
think that's why I sport the facial hair to try to get me back in the right category. But
Yeah.
I'm 46, and so
Okay, 46. All right. So you're still a baby, man. I mean, I'm in that category. I'm a baby too. I'm just about to hit 50 this year. My wife says she doesn't know if she want to be married to an old man. That's what she told me.
well, my wife's been calling me old man for a long time. I think for 10 years running, I've been turning 50 on my birthday, and so
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
just part of it.
yeah. It's just part of it. So as we close here, Guin, I want to hear a little bit about your dream. What's the? I think we've got a sense of your calling and what you're trying to do in the world as a leader. Um, what does it look like? The impact that you're wanting to leave, the imprint you want to leave behind, the impact you want to make. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. I think particularly in the corporate world and in interviews and different things like that, you can have bosses who come back with the quintessential like, "Hey, where do you see yourself in 5 years? Like, what's your goal?" And I think those are all well and good. I think we can anticipate what our moves will make, but you know it has just been from that place of like just grace. Like, I don't know how I got right here right now.
Yeah, yeah,
I don't know what God has planned and why He put me in this position, but I just try to stay present in that,
yeah,
and try. I get way out of my boots sometimes when I'm not trying to be where my feet are,
yeah,
and over the years, it's just made a lot more sense to say, things like Lord willing, like
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because there's already been so many things thrown at me through life and that I didn't expect, and so when it comes to dreams and things like that, man, I want to love my wife well. Um, I want to raise a daughter who is confident and courageous. I want to raise two boys who are respectful and fear the Lord. Um, I want to have that impact on my coworkers where
yeah,
uh, they experience in some fashion, and maybe it's dimly, but the love of Jesus, and I want my customers to experience that through the service that I give.
yeah,
And so, uh, that comes, again from like, hey, I'm going to be really good. I'm going to try to be really good at communication with my customers.
yeah,
I'm always going to be honest and tell them the truth. I'm always going to ask them for what's next. Like, hey, if we're in growth mode, like, how can I serve you more? What
yeah,
can I do to help you more? I think um, that's the way God is. He says, knock, and the door will be opened.
yeah,
So, like, he's asking for us to ask.
yeah,
And so, my dream would to be in that position where I can provide that, and whatever shakes out from that, I got everything that I wanted and then some.
man, I love it, bro. It's good. It's good. It's good to see. Um, I mean, we can talk about gratitude, and gratitude is so important, but I see gratitude in you, right? Like you could tell me about it, but I can see it in the way that you answer the questions and that godly contentment, um, which is understanding how blessed you already are. Whether he didn't bless you one more time for the rest of your life, you're already so blessed, right? Like that idea of, what he's given me is so far beyond, because I feel that sometimes myself, man, like what the Lord has given me is so far beyond what my mind even could have asked for, when I'm, this young kid running around Park Hill where I grew up. Um, and so I do think it's important, man, just like we talked about earlier, to put a pause on desire sometimes and flip over to gratitude and hang out there.
But
And let that, yeah,
gratitude has a response.
yeah,
Like it doesn't just leave you in that moment.
yeah,
Because of this, I'm thankful, but because of this, now like I can, give and work
yep,
and help and serve. It
yep,
it just positions you there. Um, uh, there was, and I don't have this one memorized, so I'm going to reference it real quick. But Titus 3 from this last week, I've been reading through this, and at one time, we too were foolish and disobedient and deceived and enslaved by all kinds of passions and pleasures. We lived in malice and envy, being hated and hating each other. But, the infamous but when the kindness and the love of God, our Savior, appeared, He saved us, not because of the righteous things that we had done, but because of His mercy. And He saved us through the washing and rebirth and renewal of the Holy Spirit. And then it goes on to say, we are justified, we are heirs of hope, and this is a trustworthy saying. And I want to stress these things, okay? I can't say these things enough. So that you have trusted in God, may you be careful to devote yourselves into doing what is good.
yeah,
That will be excellent and profitable for everyone.
yeah,
That's a unique capitalistic, you know, portion there at the end where he says if we devote ourselves to doing good in our work, in our families, in everything that we do, that those good things will be excellent and profitable for everyone.
yeah, yeah, man. You've been just sitting on that one, haven't you?
It's been
Yeah,
it's been rubbing on me a little bit.
yeah. How so? Rubbing on you how?
Um, again, just that push, that bootstrapping, kind of piece, like kind of frames me up in that, kind of performer kind of mindset where I've always got to work it out, and so that kind of leans you to what side of the spectrum I come from. But it does push me, to do good and
Yeah,
everything. But it's also framed up against that, you know, the kindness and love of God our Savior, that He appeared and saved us, and not because of anything that I've done,
not because of anything I'd done.
not because
Yeah,
of anything I've done.
right,
So,
right.
like, if it stops today, my dreams will have been met,
Yeah,
and so um,
yeah.
uh, I'm just in a really good seat, and it's because of all the things that He's done for me. So,
Man, I think that's a good place to close for the day. Guin,
Johnny, thanks, man. Thank
it's
you
been
so
such a
much. I
blessing.
can't thank you enough for the work that you're doing, for the encouragement that you're providing to these kingdom superpower folks out there that are living out their dreams based on the good that's been done for them. But you are actively doing the work of providing the reminder for people, and so thank you so
Yeah,
much.
man. Thank you for that. That actually is, man. That's a great way to put it, and it's a great perspective on it. Yeah, to call people into gratitude, um, to remember how good God has been to us. You're just an awesome brother, man. So I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for sitting with me today, and for anybody who's been up with us, stayed with us up to this point, Thank you for joining us. Thank you for sitting with us. And I'm going to continue to bring you people like you in that just, man, just people of substance that love the Lord, um, have been called to a purpose, and then have something to teach. And we got something to learn. So we'll see you next time, and appreciate you again coming by, Guin, and we'll see y'all next time. Take it easy, everybody.